Okay. So I started this live stream because I just wanted to, I guess, create a sense of community out there with everything that's been happening with coronavirus. Um, it's been really crazy here in New York. Especially in the past week and 2 days, it's been escalating and it's just been going crazy with all of the restaurants closing. And this live is really just to say hi from New York and again, just creating more of a sense of community, especially because now that everyone is in quarantine. Yeah, so I guess I wanted to shout out anyone that is anywhere around the country right now, or the world. So New York is really bad right now. Right now, it is probably the worst in the world, right? Like, I think I was looking at the news and I think it was saying like globally there is like almost 500,000 cases. Let me look at this article. It was on the New York Times. But it's crazy. Like New York, it's been spreading like I think 3 times the amount the previous day every single day. And not just that, all of the restaurants are closed. These businesses are struggling. So right now, a big part of my job is actually helping restaurants with their content and marketing. And I also do like photography. And so I've worked with these restaurants for years and years, and I know how much of their hard work and labor went into their restaurant and creating, their dream. And it's just like, I feel like I could see it disintegrating before their very eyes, and it's just heartbreaking. So many restaurant and like small business closures, like left and right here. It's crazy because Seoul was really bad even just, a few months ago. And now like we're definitely worse than them. And it's because we haven't been able to get, a hold on the containment. And it's just been frustrating because like the government isn't actually doing anything to help these small businesses, right? And yeah, it's crazy right now. I don't know. I feel so paranoid. So full disclosure, I don't actually have health insurance right now. So I'm actually going to Korea myself because I can't afford to get sick. Like literally, if I stay in New York City and get sick and hospitalized, I will be flat broke for the rest of my life. So I'm just like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh! 안녕하세요. Thanks for joining me. 같이 와줘서 감사합니다. 저 지금 뉴욕에 있는데요. Yeah, I have 한국말이 되죠. I don't know. I'm not very good at Korean. 한국말 잘 못하는데 뉴욕에 떠날 거예요. 지금 이번 주 일요일에 저 한국으로 갈 거예요. 그 이유는 저 지금 그 health insurance가 없어요. So yeah, like if I get hospitalized, I'm probably going to end up having to pay, 6 figures worth of hospital fees. As opposed to Korea, even though I don't have insurance, it's going to be far more affordable, which is probably a better situation for me. So I'm leaving this Sunday. Like I made a last minute booking. It was so expensive. The ticket was like, I think like almost $2,500 when it's usually like if you get it cheap, it's like, like could be like $1,100, $1,200. So it's super expensive. And yeah, I was going to go do some shoots this week. I canceled all of it because I need to make sure that I am safe, Yeah. So thanks for this is like I just like super spontaneously turned on this, live because I just wanted to share what it's like in New York City right now and give like a little update on what's happening here. And it's honestly heartbreaking. Like actually just today, a chef passed away. This was a very prominent Indian chef in New York. He had a restaurant called Talda. He passed away. Let me show you. Floyd Cardoz. He died, and it's so scary because he is actually a chef that, people know. Like, it's a different thing when you don't actually know the people that are getting sick. But if you've actually interacted with someone that is gone now and they're not around anymore, it really makes it feel so personal, and it brings it so close to home when you've interacted and talked to and love these people that are getting sick and passing away. So yeah, he got corona. No one actually knows if he actually passed away because of corona, but he did get tested positive for corona even just a week before, and now he's gone. And it's crazy because I also, even just a week or maybe a week and a half before, I wasn't taking social distancing seriously. I wasn't like, oh my gosh, I need to stay home. Like, I was out, I was walking, I was like, I need fresh air. I want to do what I want to do. But seeing how quickly this virus spreads, I have been self-quarantined. I haven't been moving at all. And I've been just staying at home. And I'm at the point where I'm even nervous to get delivery because I don't know where these delivery people have been. They've probably been in the public transit system. And it's probably very likely that they don't give a crap about washing their hands very well. And they probably maybe do have, come in contact with virus. I don't know. I'm just making assumptions here. But at this point, it's you need to be really safe. So yeah, please wash your hands, be safe out there. I actually wanted to share with you, I made a stop motion video about the coronavirus, and I'm pretty proud of it. It's my first claymation video I made. I'm gonna play it here. Okay. Are you ready? Oh my gosh. Okay. Hold on. Oh no. Sometimes Instagram does not work well. So I made that after reading about patient 31 in Korea. Patient 31 is a person in Korea that got over 1,000 people. She spread the virus to over 1,000 people because she didn't listen to the doctor warnings about, not being in public spaces. And because of her selfish actions, she was actually a big part of the reason why people got sick in Korea. Yeah, okay. Oh, thank you. I have to say, I love cooking, but seeing all of these restaurants struggling makes me want to support them, right? So 식당들이 지금 너무 힘들어하니까 좀 돈 써줘야 되는 마음이 생겨가지고 요리를 잘 안 하게 돼요. And every time I cook, 요리할 때마다 I feel a little bit guilty, oh, I should be supporting businesses right now, especially because they need so much help. I think it really depends on the restaurant. 식당마다 틀린데, but if they are a restaurant that's built for delivery and people enjoy their food delivered, then they're probably going to be fine right now. But for restaurants that aren't built for delivery, especially fine dining restaurants, this is like going to be absolutely, I don't know how to say, devastating to them, because they don't know how to create a fast casual menu so quickly with the ingredients that they have, right? So 지금 한국에 계시는 사람 있어요? Are you guys in Korea right now, or 한국은 I'm actually very curious right now what it's like in Korea. I'm guessing that Korea is better than New York. Okay. I see. How is Germany? I have no idea. I'm just glad that in Korea I'll actually be able to go outside and go to restaurants and stuff, because right now it's like everyone is stuck inside in New York. And if you are outside, it's highly recommended not to be, because it's just like, I feel like the virus is everywhere. Like, it's spreading so quickly to the point where like that New York City chef died. Yeah. If I were to do a live cooking video here, would you guys tune in? I think maybe I was thinking about doing one before leaving, or maybe doing something in Korea. But would love to know if you guys would be interested in seeing something like that. I see. Yeah, I was talking to my friend. So I guess Germany is also like the similar situation to Korea, but I was also talking to my friend from France, and she's saying that it's bad, especially because it's so close to Italy and Spain, but it's better than New York. So I feel like New York right now is really bad, and they have not been able to control it like Korea had. And like, people are actually giving Korea a lot of, they're saying that Korea handled it in a really good way, which is, I would agree. They were able to contain it so quickly, even when, it was spreading. But yeah, it's so cool to see people from other parts of the world tuning in, Germany and Korea. I don't know. I feel like I'm in such a bubble. Like, the only information that I'm aware of right now is coming through from media. So it's cool to be able to actually talk to people, or read that you guys are from other countries, and would love to know more about what the circumstances over there. It's crazy. Like, it shifted so quickly. Like, literally within a week. I thought it was crazy that they were even limiting the restaurants to, so initially what happened was restaurants had to reduce to 50% occupancy, but eventually the politicians just totally said the restaurants have to shut down. And luckily, actually, some of the restaurants I work with are doing okay. Like, for instance, Hanjan, I'm sure you guys are aware, especially if you guys watched MasterChef, you guys must be aware of Hanjan in New York City. Hanjan is actually doing a big menu where they're serving a meal kit that feeds a family of 4 for 2 meals for $135. And because it's a bigger order, and Hanjan is actually Huni is going around in a car delivering these meals himself, he's actually able to make enough money to let his restaurant survive. On the other hand, there are restaurants that are trying to serve their original menu for and not getting huge orders, maybe $50 orders here and there, plus having to pay 30% commission fees from the delivery companies. So if you can imagine that, if it's a $100 order, they're only making $70 from that. Plus they have to pay the rent, they have to pay their staff, they have to pay the ingredient fees. it's like this. I personally think that these delivery companies are doing such a huge disservice to these restaurants by charging such a high commission, especially with what's going on right now. If anything, they need to be the one giving leniency to these restaurants above anything. And the other alternative is to actually go in and personally pick up your food rather than using the delivery service. But the problem with that is that you will be not quarantined at that point and you will be putting yourself at risk. Yes, there is a risk when people deliver the food to you, but you can take, precautionary measures, wipe down the to-go containers, do other things that you need to prevent yourself, from coming in contact with the virus. But if you're outside and within the vicinity of anyone, then it's like, you're screwed. I don't know. Yeah, that's why I'm like totally just staying at home. And I feel guilty because I want to go down. So I live super far from all the other restaurants. If you see my apartment, I live in New York City, but it's a big apartment because I'm not close to any good restaurants, So nobody really delivers up to me. And I don't even feel comfortable going down there to support them because I don't want to leave my apartment for any other reason than to go to the airport, to go to Korea in the case that I go get sick. But yeah, another restaurant that's doing a really good job is, I don't know if you guys have heard of Naminori. Naminori is kind of like a sushi place, but it's like super affordable. Their to-go kits, actually, they're crushing it. They're making as much as they would like on a regular dinner service. But the problem is their staff doesn't want to show up to work. Like, they're afraid they're going to get sick. And so they're not showing up. So they literally have 2 or 3 people making all of the meals. So they're doing 2,000 orders per day, probably, right? 2,000 rolls per day. Can you imagine like making that much food? They're working probably like 15, 16-hour days every single day. They have to break down, clean up, and then go to work again, probably getting like just a few hours of sleep every single night. This virus is impacting everyone across everywhere. It's just crazy. But I guess just like to put it more succinctly, the things you can do for restaurants is 1, pick up if you feel comfortable doing that, or 2, support restaurants that don't typically do delivery because they are the ones that are really going to be struggling, especially, higher end establishments. So I was also talking to another restaurant owner. He actually does Chinese food, and, Chinese takeout, everyone usually gets Chinese takeout. It's a very common food to be eating for delivery. And he let me know that his sales had actually increased throughout this. So it's like, oh, so restaurants are actually doing fine. It's just a matter of what type of restaurant. So think about but as a caveat, he did say that a few of the other restaurants around him closed. So he's probably seeing more increase of traffic to his restaurant because the restaurants around him have closed. But it's kind of like, okay, there are very specific restaurants that are actually built for delivery that are just crushing it. What about the restaurants that you love to eat at that, don't have, these regular delivery menus? Yeah, they are really the ones that need your support right now. And I've totally recognizing that because of these restaurants that I personally work with and know. So I got a question. First of all, username ticket. Wait, what is it? 섹시한 왕궁댕이. That is so funny. So if you don't know Korean, 섹시한 왕궁댕이 it means like a sexy butt or something, a sexy big butt. Sorry, I think that's really funny. Okay, let me read your question. In New York, do the restaurants sanitize the place or measure consumer temperature? So 100% these restaurants are sanitizing. I don't think, are you asking if their employees get measured or if their customers get measured. So that is kind of a difficult one. I don't think that they are necessarily. They might be, but they're not really required to. So probably that's a maybe. I have no idea. But yeah, I mean, it's a really good point. It could be dangerous just to have, people making the food when you even know they're sick. So just to be clear, I didn't realize that Korean restaurants are measuring the temperature of their employees. So before they could start work, they need to get their temperature taken and make sure they're not sick. Is that what's going on in Korea? Because that seems right, but also like is that legal? I honestly don't know. I mean, there are so many things going on legally with this virus that I feel like are so new to so many restaurants. For example, there was a restaurant that closed. It's a coffee shop that closed, but they had paid all of their taxes. So they paid their full taxes, and they needed that tax money to pay their employees. But with the restaurant shut down, that tax money is gone now. And so it's they're wondering if there's any way that they could get that money back to pay their employees. Who knows? Customers. No, they're definitely not. I don't think that's legal to take the temperature of their customers. Right? I mean, does anyone know legal stuff? Because I'm definitely not a lawyer. Let me see. Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah, so I picked up food from a place called Thai Diner, and no one took my temperature, so I'm guessing that's a no. But when I was waiting for my food, there was 5 or 6 delivery guys just sitting there being waiting for orders to go out, right? But it's they were definitely not practicing social distancing. Yeah, and plus they're in contact with the food, so you don't know. And the restaurant owner, actually, we ordered there, and we just waited for the food to come out, and they took it home. And the restaurant owner came out, and he personally thanked us for doing that, because so that restaurant had the owners had 2 other restaurants. They both had to close because of this, so they're only operating out of that one restaurant. But if you really think about that, they're still paying rent for the other 2 restaurants that are making no income. So with that one restaurant, they're having to make up for 3 restaurants. And that just, when I think about it, I am not a restaurant owner, but when I think about it, it just feels impossible, and it feels so dooming. And that's totally the case that's going on with one of my longtime clients, Attoboy and Attomix. So Attomix is this gorgeous, gorgeous space. I did a video where I went there with my parents maybe a few months ago. And that restaurant is just sitting vacant, and they need to pay the rent. So yeah, it's really devastating. Oh, hello! I'm doing well. I'm in New York. Thanks for joining my live. It was super last minute, but I'm in quarantine, so why not? I'm in quarantine, and I wanted, to do something that is kind of fun, I guess, and just wanted to talk to you guys. I just think it's so cool that people are like watching from like Germany. I mean, I don't know. I've actually never been. Oh, no, I have. I've been to Berlin. I love Berlin. It was so, so, so beautiful. And I think I had like, but I tried to make sure I ate like a lot of like German food. Fuck, I forgot what I ate. So I'm reading this again. We legally measure customers' body temperature to distinguish if they have the virus or not. If you come to Korea, you will get measured. Yeah, I'm super aware of that. That's why like I'm making sure I'm not going outside right now, because as it stands right now, I'm very healthy and I'm fine. At least I feel fine. I don't feel like I'm a carrier. But apparently people are carriers without symptoms. So fingers crossed that that's not me. But yeah, I heard that at the airport in Korea, it is just super, super strict. They are measuring your temperature and making sure. Apparently there's like a tracking thing they put on your phone, like an app that tracks your movement. So you can't leave your home. That's crazy. That's so smart. And it's like, I can't believe they were to do it that quickly, but that's crazy to me. Like, that we need that in New York. People are definitely going out and about and spreading the virus. But yeah, so I was reading an article that a lot of foreigners are going to Korea and bringing the virus into the country. I'm sure you guys have read this article as well, but apparently if you have the virus, they were literally just gonna turn you away and make you go back. And I'm just thinking, like, what does that mean? Like, are they gonna pay for my ticket? Am I gonna have to buy another ticket if I'm sick? But apparently everyone that goes into Korea is required to self-quarantine for 14 days. So I'm gonna just be sitting, maybe doing a couple more of these live videos because it's kind of fun. And waiting to make sure I'm healthy enough to go out into the public. Korean network power. Yeah. Wait, are you talking about this? I don't know. But I'm really excited to go to Korea because Korea, okay, first of all, I don't know if you guys have been to Korea lately, but Korea, the food and like the dining scene right now is like, it's getting so impressive. Like seriously, I lived there maybe like 6 years ago. 6 years ago. I lived there oh my God, I can't believe it's been 6 years already. But I lived in Korea 6 years ago, and literally like the only real eating options were like mainly Korean. And even like the more Western options, like I remember at that time there was Koreanos, it's like Mexican food, or like, trying to think, but there wasn't a ton of other options besides like Korean food, at least that I liked in Korea. But lately, like it's like, okay, have you guys heard of a restaurant in Korea called Gonban? Okay, I am not a big tonkatsu person. Like I'm like, I could eat tonkatsu, but this place makes such good tonkatsu, so good. Like they cook it in a way where the pork is so juicy and like tender, and they rest the pork. Sorry, I don't know why it's impressive. They rest the pork and the outside is so crispy, and they serve this miso soup with it that is like this delicious it's like, I think they roast the vegetables. So it is this like smoky, like super umami miso soup with the tonkatsu. Okay, that place made me fall in love with tonkatsu, and I am definitely going to be eating there when I go. Another thing that I need to eat in Korea is kumdaeji. Okay, kumdaeji it translates to gold pig, but this place has the best pork belly. Okay, I know there's a lot of really good samgyeopsal in Korea, and I totally agree. However, this place has really, really good kimchi jjigae with pork belly. This place, like, I dream of this, like, 돼지고기 kimchi jjigae. It is, I don't know what makes it so good, but it, like, I don't know. I think it must be the pork quality because, like, it doesn't smell like, and it's just super flavorful and rich and amazing. The last time you went was in 1996. Oh my gosh, that is like that's like that's like a long time. I think I was like 5 years old. I think I was there then too. So like the thing about Korea is I go back like when I was younger, I went back, every like 2 to 4 years. And as I got older, I go back every year. So I've really been able to see the huge progression and change in Korea with like the dining scene. And I have to say, like, even cocktails, oh my gosh, there's a place called Bar Chum. It's so, so cute. It is like, they make amazing cocktails and it's like such a cute vibe. It feels kind of like an old school, like Hanok. And like the drinks are like affordable considering Korea. Like Korea, if you guys didn't know, cocktails in Korea cost like $27. I know, it's insane. But you can find cheaper ones. I think the cheaper end of cocktails will be like $15, which is like kind of New York City price, but that's crazy because it's Korea. And in my mind, everything in Korea is cheaper than New York, but it's not the case anymore. In fact, cocktails in Korea, on average, in my opinion, are like way more expensive than New York. That's cool. So you lived in New York 8 years ago. And I got a question from someone who Hongjin Gun. So I currently work for myself. So I have a lot of clients that I support. And they're all hospitality clients, or within the hospitality industry. One of my clients is actually like a communications company that helps restaurants with more like media or like PR. And then I also do, my own consulting for businesses. And I do photography, like I get hired for assignments by publications, and I also help manage digital media, like social media, and things like that. So yeah, I mean, it's a good, comfortable, it's really nice because I can use my own hours and my own schedule. And I totally prefer it over working, in a corporate environment. Like, I was previously working at a big media company called Condé Nast. It's probably one of the biggest and best media companies. It has, under Condé, there are like these huge brands that I'm sure you know, which includes GQ, Vanity Fair, Vogue, Golf Digest, Condé Nast Traveler, Architectural Digest, yeah, so it's a really big media company. I used to work there. I was a producer there, so I would help make videos for them. But if you could work for yourself, why not? It was scary, I have to say. And that's why I'm actually flying to Korea at the end of this week, because I don't have health insurance because I work for myself. And I probably should have gotten health insurance, but I thought that I was healthy enough and I thought that I'd be fine. So I ended up not getting health insurance, which was probably dumb of me. especially now that, you know, there's a virus that is like killing people. But that's why I'm going to Korea. So yeah. Yeah, thanks for asking. Thanks for being interested. I know I'm like so bad at uploading YouTube videos. Like I seriously want to show you my folder full of videos that I've shot because I have them ready to edit. But you know, when you have like a bunch of clients that need you to do certain things, I totally prioritize that, which I shouldn't. So I'm kind of thinking like doing lives is a good alternative because then I can still be, you know, consistent or like, you know, saying hi without like, so editing video, I don't know if you guys have ever tried to edit a video, but it's very, very time consuming. And not just that, like shooting takes time, editing takes time. And for me, like if I do a recipe, like developing that recipe takes time and money. Like, because let's say I make the recipe and I'm not happy with how it turns out, then I need to go and buy the ingredients again, and I need to just like keep refining it. So unless I'm like pretty happy with how a recipe turns out, I'm not willing to make a video on it. So like, and I don't like, for instance, like maybe I should be doing this, like eating the same food over and over until I get the perfect recipe. But I'm like, okay, I just made that and it wasn't a perfect recipe, but I ate it and I don't want to eat it again. So I want to make something else. It's totally my problem. So to answer your question, 배고파? 배고, like you're hungry. So no, I'm not automatically insured in Korea. Korea, though, overall, if I am sick, even without insurance, is way, way cheaper than America. Also, in general, I think the healthcare is superior to America. However, if I stay there and I get an F4 visa, which I'm sorry, I got distracted. No belly button. I don't know what that means, but okay. But okay, so if I go to Korea and I get an F4 visa, this is a very common type of visa that Korean Americans get, then I'm insured. However, before I get that visa, I have to pay out of pocket, which is still better than paying here. Sorry, I'm gonna read this again. Peko. Oh, peko! Ah! I thought you were saying pego, like I'm hungry. Oh, okay. Peko. That's good. That's kind of cute. I like that. It's a cute name. But yeah, so F4 visa. Yeah, so depending on how things go here, if I end up having to stay in Korea for longer than 3 months, then I'm going to be applying for the F4 visa so I could get insured, and I will probably just stay in Korea. The beauty of working for yourself as well is I don't have to go to an office. I can manage my clients from here. Remotely. So it doesn't matter where I am in the world, as long as we align on like the time zone, then I can work wherever I want, really, right? The only reason I do stay in New York is because of photography. I don't know if you guys have seen my work, but I am very proud of myself. I think I have gotten much better at photography. I will actually show you my website because I want to. I'm very proud of myself. But yeah, let me show you. I took that. This one is a restaurant in Korea called Mosu. This one is another restaurant in Korea called Kwonsuksu. I took these photos. Oh, this is not the right crop. These are cocktails from Optimix. But yeah, I think I've definitely really improved. I get hired for photography now. So I get paid to shoot, so I would consider myself a professional photographer. But it's like a struggle because I'm also pretty good at like social media and marketing. So I still consult on that. But like as a photographer, like most photographers are very like, ooh, I'm just a photographer. But I'm like, I'm a photographer, but I also like to, you know, do marketing. Why not? Like, why not? Right? Okay. Oh, 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. Thanks for joining me. This is so fun. 와주셔서 감사합니다. This is just me talking about random nonsense about my life, so welcome to that if you guys are interested in seeing me just literally talk to myself. Actually, not. I'm talking to people here. Talking to 배꼽. I'm talking to 섹시한 궁쟁이. And now I'm talking to Lee Style and Park Ju-an. Hi. Is there a better way to do these lives? Is there a way for me to actually contribute to these lives? Like, ooh, how do I do that? I'm like super new to live. Is there something I should be like that can like kind of like make it natural? I don't know. Ooh, I don't know. Next time I will make something. But like I said, I feel like I should be supporting these businesses. I've been eating a lot of takeout, actually. Wow, 요리사이세요? Are you a cook? So there's someone that joined that is studying cooking and studying English. Oh, good. So I guess speaking English is good because they're studying English. I will show you, since this is my laptop. I wonder if there's a way to flip the camera. I guess there's not, sorry. I was gonna show you what my outside my window looks like. It's crazy. Let me see. I don't understand. There's so many people just like walking around outside. I'm kind of jealous. I want to go outside, but I can't get sick. 취미. Yeah. 저도. Oh, sorry, English. So I also, so after MasterChef, I actually worked in a restaurant. I worked there for 1.5 years, which I think is a pretty long time. But I realized after working in the restaurant that I am not the right fit for a restaurant. Yeah, I personally still really love to cook, but restaurant business is really a totally different monster from just enjoying cooking. Like you need to be like living and breathing food to be working in a kitchen. And that's kind of why I pivoted to photography and, you know, like brand strategy or, you know, like doing the other work I do with hospitality because I love the industry. And I love, you know, food, and I want to support the people in the industry because they're so great to work with. But personally, myself, I'm much more of a home cook. Yeah, and I think it's just totally a different game if you want to be on restaurant level. And also, like, I cannot waste food. So if you even see how I cook, like, I do not throw anything away. Like I will kale stems, like I'll make kale salads. I will save those kale stems and I'll toss it in fried rice because I refuse to throw away food that's perfectly good to eat. Restaurants, on the other hand, especially like the higher end you go, the more food waste there is. And it just really doesn't, it's not in line with how I view food and how I like to prepare my food. So it's not for me. Even when I was working at the restaurant for a year and a half, I saw so much good food just being tossed in like the garbage bins. It was heartbreaking. Like perfectly good food. Just they're like, whatever, just throw it away. I'm like, what? And it's sad because it's like they're not just throwing away, you know, like the bad bit, like the ends of like, you know, celery or, you know, the asparagus ends. They're tossing like chicken out. And it's like, if you really think about it, that chicken died to serve you. Like that chicken was alive and it died. And like, I'm not like a vegetarian or anything. Like I still eat meat, but I definitely put value upon the meat that I'm eating. Like I really like understand that the food that like is meat that I'm consuming was alive and died for me to eat it. And I just wish more people would really view food this way. Like it's heartbreaking when I see, you know, pounds of pounds of like chicken being tossed. Like I understand it's a cheap meat, but man, like food should not be that disposable. And that's like, it's like a problem. Like everything in our world lately is just so disposable. People like just like use and use. They like the takeout, like it's even the takeout. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I've been eating a lot of takeout right now because of the virus, but it's like every single time after eating a meal, you're like just tossing out like bagfuls of plastic. Like I actually save all my plastic. And my boyfriend makes fun of me. He says I'm a hoarder. But I'm like, if I'm gonna like this plastic is still good, and it's like good quality plastic that still can be used at least once, if not like more, you know, again. So I'll save it, you know, for when my friends come over and we have leftover food. I'll like pack some food for them to go, so then it leaves my kitchen at least. But if you really save all of the plastic you're using from your meals, oh my gosh, it's horrific. And it sucks that like consumers feel the burden of it, but really there needs to be a higher level change that needs to be made, right? By the government. I mean, that's kind of what's happening with the plastic bag ban. So in New York, they banned the use of plastic bans. Oops, sorry. They banned the use of plastic bags. And it's sad, but apparently there were articles coming out about paper bags being even worse. So who knows? There's so much misinformation out there, but the least you could do is reduce, reuse, and recycle. That's the least you can do if you're, you know, have a lot of plastic usage of takeout meals. Yeah, so I did a collab video with Aran. Aran is an English teacher. If you guys want to learn English, 영어 공부하고 싶은 사람들은 Aran TV 가면 there's a really good English teacher named Aran. She is also a very, very sweet and kind-hearted person. And I met her like even before I was doing Mashako. And then after Mashako, I met up with her and we ate together. But yeah, she's a great person. I really, really liked her. She came over to my apartment when I was, or not my apartment, my house in Chicago, and we made bingsu together. But she was also, we were talking about like the huge the cultural difference between Korea and America in terms of like throwing out food. Like terrible in America, you won't get fined or no repercussions for throwing out your food with plastics and not recycling. But in Korea, like there is a system in place to, actually make people be a little bit more responsible. And when I was living in Korea 6 years ago, I hated it. I was super annoyed that I had to buy separate bags for my food and toss it in a separate toss it separately from like my plastics, because I was just used to the convenience of just tossing it together. But after getting used to it, like it literally just took me like a month to get used to it. And when you get in the system of like tossing your foods and your plastics and other materials separately, you appreciate it and you try to be more mindful of how you're throwing away your food. So even here in New York, there's a new composting program, and I definitely always compost my food. I never just toss my food with my plastics ever, because if I could do a tiny little thing like that, that would be even like the slightest bit helpful, then why wouldn't I? Yeah. So for anyone that's living in America or not in Korea that is looking to just make a small difference for the environment, I would definitely suggest even just trying to force yourself to be a little bit more responsible and tossing your food separately from your plastics.
Hello, have a nice day.
Yeah. Okay. Wow, I cannot believe I talked on this live for almost 1 hour. This is crazy. I am impressed with myself. Because I didn't think that I could, because I thought I would be struggling right now, but I guess I have a lot more to say than I thought. Yeah, for everyone that joined me on this live, thank you so much. How to say in Korean? 라이브 같이 오준 사람들 너무 감사하고요. I'm gonna be in quarantine in Korea starting Sunday, so hopefully I will be doing a few of these every so often, and I hope I'll have a chance to talk to you guys all again. Maybe next one I will be like doing a themed thing. I don't really know how these lives work. I think that it would be cool if I could like announce what I'm doing, like, ooh, I'm gonna be making like kimchi today, but maybe there's a way to do it. I'll have to look into it. I'm like super new to this whole live situation. And I can't believe, I'm so excited that you guys like stuck around to watch this live video. I'm so grateful. And I'm so excited to be like connecting with you guys here. So yeah, if you guys have suggestions on what a fun live, like maybe you guys watch a lot more live than me. Personally, I don't really do a lot. Then feel free to suggest it, but otherwise I will definitely be doing it again. And 같이 와준 사람 너무 감사합니다. So okay, I'm gonna be heading out now. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.